for it.
Thrilled for it.
Presenting Franks with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
Final game of league stage play in IPL 2025 and still so much at stake. RCB have one last chance to clinch a top 2 spot. In front of them, Lucknow Super Giants in Lucknow, which is where RCB lost their last game to Sunrisers Hyderabad. Build up to match number 70 on Nexa presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout, where we've got the company of Tom Moody and Wasim Jaffer. Gentlemen, thank you. 70. We're finally here. RCB are hoping they can be in the top 2. That bid has taken a bit of a blow in recent times, but they welcome back Josh Hazlewood, Tom, and that in itself is such a big boost.
Yeah, significant one. It's going to be difficult for him as well, even though he's a very fine bowler, got a lot of experience, but still the break that he's had from playing and competition and overcoming a bit of a shoulder niggle, we can't expect him surely to come back absolutely out of the blocks flying like he has prior to that break. But, still they'll welcome him back because he's got a wealth of experience and he certainly understands the IPL.
Sign of just how good he's been is he last played on April 27th. He's still RCB's leading wicket taker. He's still the 4th highest wicket taker this season.
Yeah, he's had a massive role in where RCB is. They obviously in the past have struggled with the bowling, but he's spearheaded that attack, and they definitely missed him in the last few games. And they'll, like Tom said, they'll welcome him. Even half fit Josh Hazlewood because that length that he bowls, and he bowls in different phases and comes out with flying colours. So they'll welcome him back.
And it is welcome timing because they had been playing Lungi and Gidi in the last few games. He's not available. He's left to join South Africa for their World Test Championship final preps. But while they have Hazlewood's happiness, they are fretting on Tim David. Highly unlikely to feature in this game. It looked really bad, that injury in the last game. How do they address that absence?
A very difficult one because even though he's had minimal balls to face, but those balls that he's faced, he's had significant impact, and that's his role. That's the life of a finisher is you're measured on a very small sample size, but he seems to have done it as well as anyone this season, and to be fair, he's probably done it as well as anyone over the last 5 years. He's been very effective. So I would imagine Livingston will come in for him. There may be some thought around Seifert, who's a new addition to their squad, but I would think they'll go with the present player that's in the squad that's already played this season.
Yes, those are the two options. Liam Livingston, who last featured on the 15th of April, not had a lot going his way this season, and Tim Seifert, who's joined RCB as replacement for Jacob Bethel, who's no longer part of the tournament. Which way would you go?
Well, I make sense with what Tom says because Liam Livingston has been part of the RCB's team in the initial phase, but the only problem is how he faces spin. Where does his entry point will be? So that's going to be a concern. I just feel Tim Seifert might be a better option at number 3, and Romario Shepherd and Jitesh Sharma can do that finisher's role, but they need runs, I feel, from Rajat Patidar. He's going to be very, very important. He's been a little quiet for a few games, but I feel Tim Seifert, because he's come back from PSL, have done well there, so he's got a bit of cricket behind him, so I'd probably go the other way.
Yeah, a lot more game time compared to Livingston, and someone who's more suited to batting in the top of the order.
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand that argument. My only point around that is the confusion with their top order then. Agarwal can't go down the order. If he's going to play, he's got to bat 3. Patidar has been 4. So if you throw Seifert up at 3, you're then sort of pushing players out of position to a certain extent. I've actually seen Tim Seifert bat in the middle as well, bat at 5 and 6. Mm-hmm. So he's a pretty versatile cricketer. And as you say, he's come off some pretty good form.
All right, so some big calls for them to take, and Patidar is an important piece. Regardless of what combination they go with, his form tapering off is something that he needs addressed going into the playoffs.
Without a doubt, he's had fantastic knocks at the start of the tournament, but he's just had a lean period. He had some injury issues as well. But going into playoffs, it's important for them to win this game, finish on top 2, and then runs from him in the playoffs will matter a lot because it's such an important tournament because, most of the things have worked. You want your best players to be in form.
Yeah, there are a few teams who know better than RCB from the recent past about the importance of finishing in the top 2. While this is the 5th time in the last 6 seasons that they made the playoffs, 3 of those last 4 saw them crash out in the eliminator. Can they avoid that? They will need to beat Lucknow for that. It's also one final look this season at the Lucknow Super Giants, whose season started so brightly before it fizzled away. No Aiden Markram for this last outing. Is there a case for Rishabh Pant to open?
Absolutely. I think that's definitely opened the door, and I think he'll welcome that opportunity as well. You know, he's had a season to forget, personally. You know, we've seen over recent times him, you know, dominate really with a strike rate of 150, you know, averaging sort of 30 plus. But this season he's really found it difficult to get any sort of rhythm to his game. So maybe that opportunity at the top will be exactly the tonic he needs.
Yeah, as brief as it was, we saw a first glimpse of the Pant we've known in that 6-ball cameo in their last game. 16, hit one of his trademark shots as well. Would you like to see him finish at the top of the order and on top for a change?
I think so. I think he'll welcome that opportunity because in T20 cricket, that's where you want to bat, and he's didn't had a great tournament. So I feel he'll make use of this opportunity, and he would like to go on a high, get some runs under his belt. He had a forgetful season, but he won't mind a big score before signing off.
Any other players you'd like to see Lucknow giving a game?
And I would probably go with Himmat Singh because I think he's got a lot of experience, played for Delhi. There are Arshin Kulkarni, there's Hangar Gekar, but I feel they have a bit of time. Himmat Singh is somebody who's done well recently, but I think they've got most of the batters sorted. But I feel Himmat Singh, if given an opportunity, he's a guy to go to.
Wish list for LSG's last game?
Well, they'll be definitely wanting to sign off with a win. Again, an inconsistent season which has led to their position on the table. But I'd like to see, the likes of Avish Khan and Akash Deep step up to the plate. 2 players that have represented India, 2 players that have got quality but haven't really shown any consistency. And I think that's one of the issues that the LSG have had this season is their bowling attack and the expectation of their local bowlers, which hasn't really fired for them, including Bishnoi.
Yep. Predictions. Who are we backing? Will RCB get the job done?
I think so. I think RCB, they'll be hoping for a win, but I think with Hazelwood back, even though Tim David is a big loss, I think I'll fancy RCB to get through.
Will Lucknow keep the trend going?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. I think that this is a real danger match for RCB because Lucknow have got nothing to lose, and they've got a couple of players in that team that can pull off, individual brilliance. Pant's one of them, and he'd be desperate to do it. Pooran's another one, and Mitch Marsh is the third. So watch that space.
Watch out, RCB. Thank you so much, Tom, Wasim, for setting up the game for us. The equation is simple. RCB win, they finish in the top 2. LSG win, GT finish in the top 2.
Ready for it.
Thrilled for it.
Presenting Franks with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
Excellent.